am a God of War world record speedrunner. This is not a joke, I'm actually very cool. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I did it. So a few weeks ago, I decided I wanted to try speedrunning, and since I'm basically a God of War channel now, I started looking at God of War speedruns. I love all of these games, except this one. But I'm most familiar with God of War 1, so I decided to check out its categories. And very quickly, I realized three things. Number one, there are a million categories and subcategories for these games. Number two, I definitely don't speak Portuguese. And number three, holy shit, these guys are fast. Did you know that? Did you know speedrunners are fast? These guys have spent months or even years in some cases perfecting their runs and swimming through the air? What the fuck? This is insane dedication, and I respect these guys a lot, which makes what I'm about to say that much crazier. I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted an easy W with minimal effort. You know, like a bad person. I knew that all of these beloved God of War games would have hundreds of dedicated runners, but I also knew that there was a God of War game that was so frustrating, so inaccessible, that would make even the most veteran gamers put down their blades. I needed to speedrun the phone game. The one God of War game that I never wanted to play again became my only hope at achieving my 3-hour-old dream of becoming a legendary speedrunner. Come here. Whoops, sorry about that. Must have left that in from the old footage, my bad. Before I get into the speedrun, I want to talk about the game a little bit because if I had to guess, almost no one watching this video has ever played it. The game is titled God of War Betrayal, and on the timeline of God of War games, it's set after the events of God of War 1, but before the events of God of War 2, but also after the events of God of War Ghost of Sparta and approximately 13 years before Kratos won his first Battle Royale. The story follows Kratos as he wages war on basically everybody because he's the God of War, and that's kinda on you if you didn't see that coming. His main conflict is with Argos, this absolute freak of nature who was definitely not ready for this. Kratos fights Argos in 4 out of the 10 levels in the game until Argos is mysteriously assassinated mysteriously by a mysterious assassin. What a mystery! Kratos chases the assassin for the rest of the game until he's confronted by Syrinx, a messenger from Olympus whom Kratos swiftly deletes from the timeline. There's probably less than 100 words of dialogue in this game. The story really isn't the point. The actual point is the gameplay. And my actual point is that the gameplay is trash. Like every God of War game, you start with the Blades of Chaos and pick up magical abilities as you progress further into the game. And by further into the game, I mean the first level. You heard that shit right. Kratos gets every magic ability in the first 5 minutes of the game. They are the exact same abilities that you get in God of War 1, except this time, almost all of them are completely useless. The Blade of Artemis is a straight downgrade from the Blades of Chaos. Medusa's Gaze is really good, but I'm lying. An Army of Hades summons an army of doo-doo. The game is pretty simple in its level design, and there aren't any puzzles or fights that require a specific magic, so the best strategy is to pump all of your red orbs into the blades and spam the attack button for the next 2 hours. And that's exactly what I did in my legendary speedrun. Now that you know what the game is, it's time to talk about my speed run. But I've got a little secret, a little trick that I'm not going to reveal until later. The plan was to run New Game Glitchless, a category that relies on the least amount of game knowledge to compete in. Before I began my run, I knew I would need to do 2 things. 1, be fast, and 2, play well. I'm going to tell you right now, I did neither of those things. Things were looking really good until the run started. I missed dozens of jumps, maybe even hundreds. I was so bad I fell through the floor at one point. There's this section where you have to push a box through a corridor and then circle around the map to pull it onto a button on the floor, but whenever anything touches the button it cuts away to the gate that it opens, but Kratos still moves around. So when it cut back to Kratos, I had kicked the box back out the other side. That was like 2 minutes of wasted time. Also, I died like a lot to everything. Everything you can die to, I died to. Legionnaires, Minotaurs, the floor, you name it, buddy. I died 2 times on the last boss. I straight up got lost here. I'm not kidding. I didn't even know where to go. I spent like a minute and a half just walking around. I am a world record speedrunner. Okay, so it's pretty clear at this point that I'm not good at this game. Some people might even say that I'm bad at it. It's me. I'm some people. I'm bad at it. So how is someone like me, an absolute oaf, the god of snore, able to become a world record speedrunner with this game? Because there are no other runs. I win by default. I'm the worst and best speedrunner at the same time. Now, there are people who run God of War Betrayal, dozens of them in fact, but here's where that little secret I was talking about in the beginning comes into play. For some reason, there was a category set up on speedrun.com that no one had ever submitted a run for. I couldn't believe it, dude. I thought I had to be missing something. This particular category, New Game Glitchless, is entirely run on Android devices, which are posted in the Android subcategory. But luckily for me, there was also a Java subcategory. And who the f cares about Java? So I found a Java version of God of War Betrayal, filmed arguably one of the worst speedruns of all time, and submitted my run. For the next 3 days, I was on the edge of my seat. Was my run going to be accepted? Had I missed some crucial rule that would disqualify the whole thing and make this video impossible? But like a beautiful Valkyrie that Kratos brutally sent to Valhalla, a moderator swooped in to review my gameplay and approved my run. I was now a world record-holding God of War speedrunner, and the only competition I had was myself. So I said fuck it, and I ran the game again, but better this time, and without getting lost and dying to every enemy. Well, I mean, I definitely still died. I died a lot, actually, but it was less, and that's improvement. And then I submitted that run, and boom, I beat my own world record by like 7 minutes. I won't lie, that felt pretty good. But you know what felt even better? When I ran it again and beat my own score again. Woo! Oh yeah, baby, we're speedrunning now. I got my 56-19 down to a 46-19 in 3 runs. And the competition is speechless. They're literally not even there. They don't exist. But all jokes aside, this was really cool and a lot of fun. Shout out to the God of War speedrunning community. You guys are actual legends. Thank you to the moderator that had to watch my terrible runs. I'm so sorry. And thank you in advance for always calling me world record speedrunner 22 Luke for the rest of time.